Alright, I wanted to make this video because I've already had to explain this method to a couple of people, so it saved me having to do it over and over again. But also I think this works as a good beginner qwarp tutorial and setup. It's just better than our previous setup for two reasons. One, it works 100% of the time if you do it right. And two, it's easier. So I think it's pretty much a no-brainer as a beginner qwarp setup. But I personally recommend it to anyone with an over like 35-minute time, something like that in no QE. Or if you're like myself, you have a faster time, but qwarp is really inconsistent for whatever reason. We don't really know why, which is kind of annoying, but with this method, you can get it 100% guaranteed. You come to this point in Veldin. I'm kind of going through this as a complete beginner, so after you've done this little first bit of movement, and you go over here. And what we do with the previous method is that we try and hit the cutscene trigger and the death trigger at the same time. Now we don't need to do that. Now we don't want to die, so it makes it a lot easier. We just want to hit the cutscene trigger. So if you're a complete beginner, I recommend jumping over this cactus like this, looking over here, and then you just charge off, hyper strike onto the mountain, and charge again, and you reach the cutscene. You want to mash through that. You can dodge that cutscene. I still don't really understand when you do and don't get it. I think it's to do with Ratchet's height, but I'm not 100% sure on that. So once you hit that cutscene, it takes you to the second part of Veldin, and previously, actually, let me just pause a little bit. Previously, you just go straight to the end of Veldin, but to guarantee qwarp, we want to do just like a little bit of setup, and that will guarantee our qwarp. So what I'm going to do is also you'll notice I'm using the plasma core, which is not a weapon that we previously used at the start of the run. And normally in a speed run, I'd also switch over to the plasma core before I hit the dropship, which I can demonstrate a little bit later. But if you're a beginner, don't worry about that too much. So you switch to your plasma core, you kill this person, this walker. That is the first phase of Veldin. Then we're going to come over here. We're going to kill these three guys. That will progress us to the next stage of Veldin. Now you have to wait for a dialogue to play. So that's the dialogue that's just started playing now. This is the dialogue that we want to listen for. Once this dialogue is finished, then we can finish Veldin. So you'd proxy over, same as before, and then switch to the Rhino, ready for the qwarp fight. And you can see the dialogue will have finished playing. We can go over to Florana and we will get a guaranteed qwarp. I'll do this again afterwards just to show exactly how I do it. I've timed this to lose 4 seconds compared to the normal method, not including free fall clip. So there we go, we got qwarp. If it let me pause the game. Gotta love hard drives. So yeah, 4 seconds, maybe slightly less, maybe 3.5, but I think about 4 seconds. There are methods that I don't think are worth that you could do to speed it up a little bit more. So yeah, I'll just demonstrate that once more at a kind of faster speed, something that I do. So for context, I have a 33 on a hard drive, so 32 on an SSD. And it can kind of show how I do it. But just take it as slow as you like for when you're starting out. But yeah, like I say, this is useful for beginners and high level runners that just get really inconsistent qwarps. So we'd be over here, remove that bit of dialogue. Okay, that's bad. I would not be from that angle, it'd be more this angle. You can slide over, hyper strike up. Ooh. Hello. Let's try that again. That's embarrassing. So something like that. And there I didn't get the cutscene. The only other thing to mention is that you have to finish Veldin in the 3rd phase. So, like I said, when that dialogue plays, and then about a second afterwards, that's when you're in the 3rd phase of Veldin. If you let the Rangers kill any Terranoid, well, kill a bunch of Terranoids, and then start saying another dialogue, you enter the 4th phase, and qwarp will not work anymore. So I switched over to the Plasma Coil, immediately killed it, wait a little bit, shoot about now, and then set up your proxy weapon select. And that was a good timing. So the Rangers started talking like, well, I was like at the top of my jump. That's a pretty good way of knowing that you've timed it pretty well to finish Veldin as soon as possible, basically. If the Ranger's talking as you start falling down, you're probably a little bit fast, and you're going to need to wait on the final platform. So just to demonstrate, we get qwarp again. We can kill him, we can go off to VR and do whatever we like. So then I'm just gonna go over exactly what we know about qwarp at this point. So this is a way to 100% guarantee qwarp, but it is not the fastest way to do qwarp. The fastest way is still like you do in any older run, where you'd death abuse into the dropship, and then you kill yourself, and then you finish Veldin immediately. For whatever reason, it seems to be that if you death abuse into the dropship, that confuses the game, to use a meme, into you being on a different phase of the second half of Veldin than you actually are, so you can finish it whenever you want. But the theory behind it is that if you finish Veldin on that 3rd phase of the mission, then when you get to Flora, it ends up kind of storing your mission progress wrong. And plays a cutscene that it's not supposed to. And then there's theories about that it's because the PS3 version is built off some beta build that still has a cutscene when you're meant to talk to Skid. I think that theory is pretty plausible, but the most annoying thing about this is that we still don't know how to death abuse and guarantee qwarp. So if someone can find that, that'd be amazing. Have I actually mentioned that obviously you need to be on the PS3 version, you need to be in German or Spanish for this to work. And the other thing is that with my method to guarantee the qwarp, using the PDA to skip Ranger dialogue has no effect on it. So you need to skip the Ranger dialogue. That Ranger dialogue has to play, and you have to wait about a second after it finishes, and then the game will flag that you are on the correct stage of the mission for qwarp to happen. I think that's everything I was going to talk about. Yeah, just to say that at the moment, guaranteeing qwarp is not the fastest way to play, well, to use in runs, which is a little bit cringe, especially if you want to do free fall skip. This is really slow if you do free fall skip, because you free fall down, but you still have to kill all the enemies. So free fall skip is really not worth. But I think it's a very, very valuable method, and hopefully I've showcased that in this video. I think that covers everything, so I'm just going to close out the tutorial here. Thanks, guys.